Welcome everyone to Resolution Bootcamp. Now the cool thing is, I know that for a lot of you here, this bootcamp's going to be outside your comfort zone. Big time. Some of you not so much, but some of you it's going to be outside your comfort zone a lot. But that's what life's all about. It's all about stretching your boundaries. It's all about, instead of just going around in a circle and being in your comfort zone, jumping out of that circle and getting outside your comfort zone and creating new comfort zones. So then you can keep on stretching yourself. So this year, what we're looking for in boot camp, we're looking for full commitment. We're going to hold people accountable. We want people that are passionate about fitness and their exercise and taking their fitness to the next level in their lives. So welcome along. We've got some cool, awesome instructors that are going to be helping you guys out. Unfortunately, Paul couldn't make it tonight. But Vivacious Vicky is going to be talking soon, and Booming Becky. And it's going to be absolutely awesome to hear from these guys because they're really going to be the powerhouse behind boot camp. So without further ado, let's get into it.
All right.
Who's up next?
Me. All right, guys. Some of you met me last time and you know a little bit about my story and how I got into fitness. I'm just going to share with you, for those of you who have not met me, I'm Becky and I'm going to be teaching you on Thursday nights. Those of you who do know me, I think I did mention 8 years ago, I went and moved to America and I used to weigh 160 kilograms. Okay, I was a big girl and I could barely do anything. I was a nanny. And I turned 26 and I said, I don't want to be like this on my 27th birthday. And I joined a gym and I got an awesome trainer and a lot of years I've had slog and now I'm a group fitness instructor. So I just wanted to show you guys some pictures. A lot of them are me partying because that's what I did a lot in my 20s. But for example, this was me in my early 20s, okay? Before I started working out. There's a couple here. This one here. Yes, you may. This is the one. Yep, so yeah, this is me here. This was when I lived in London, this was my leaving party before I went to America. This is me here. So yeah, I was a pretty big girl. I was still reasonably active. I never was like sit on the couch and couldn't move. I went hiking, I went backpacking around the world and things, but I always dreamed of the day of when I would be slimmer. And it always just seemed so far away. But one day I turned 26 and I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do this right. I said, do you want a trainer? I was like, oh, it's money, but you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right. I'm going to get the trainer. I'm going to go the whole way. So I met Tony, and Tony was my trainer for 8 years. And we went through this whole journey together. It went up, it went down, it went up. And we had lows and we had highs, but we stuck to it. And he stuck by me the whole time. So one of the key things you have to do on your journey is find some support. Whether it's a trainer, whether it's a partner, whether it's a friend, whether it's your parents, anybody, you need someone who's going to be by your side. I can remember one day I went in and trained with my trainer on a Sunday, and afterwards he's like, all right, I'm going home. I said, but you just trained me. And he said, yeah, I just came in to train you. He drove 30 minutes across town to train me, and then that was it, just me for the day. And I was like, this guy's putting so much effort into me, I can't let him down. And that really motivated me to keep going with my journey. So I'm going to show you, so these are my before pictures. A year after I started training with Tony, I'd lost about, pounds, what's that, about 30 kilograms, 25 kilograms. I said to him, I watched the Chicago Marathon, and I said, Tony, I want to run the marathon next year. Do you think I can do it? And he said, you can do anything you set your mind to do. And this is one piece of information that I have kept in my mind always. I can do anything I set my mind to. I was still a very big girl, and I'm going to show you. This is me crossing the finish line of my first marathon in 2006. Still pretty big, but I finished a marathon because I chose to do it, and I had the motivation and the support to do it. Took me 5 hours and 10 minutes to do it, but I did it. And I cried and I bawled when I crossed that finish line. But that was one of the biggest things I've ever done in my life. And here we are with my medal. I'm all teared up, I'm all choked up. And then the next year I decided to do it. My parents came over from New Zealand and watched me, and they said, I'm going to come over for your birthday. I said, no, I really want you to come and watch me run a marathon. I've got this new life now. I'm fit, I work out, it's great. Come over in October instead of September, watch me run a marathon. And they did. And I thought I put a picture of all of us together here. Here's my parents. They made t-shirts that said Team Kiwi. And you can still see here, I was pretty big. I actually gained weight training for the marathon that year. That's one thing, running makes you fat if you're not careful. Big lesson I learned that year, you can't run 16 miles and then come home and eat hash browns, bacon, eggs, and everything. So that was a big learning curve for me too. And I thought I put some more after pictures here. Oh no, these are the during pictures, and I do have some after pictures. Sorry about this. And then when I reached my goals, oh, what's happening? Album.
Technology.
Oh my goodness. Oh. After. So, this year was just before I left America a year ago. I'm in the pink dress. My friend were dressed up for going to a wedding, okay? So this just shows, going from that first picture that I showed you guys. And there's a couple here too. I trained for the 2010 marathon. Much different person and I did it in 4.5 hours, so I knocked quite a bit off my time. And this one here, this one actually my trainer has in the States. We used to have an Oscar party every year, and we used to wear our bridesmaid dresses, and I put a red carpet down the stairs. Yeah. And that was fun. So that's just some pictures of me and my journey. So what I really want you guys to take away from me is it's going to be tough. There are times where you feel like there's such a long road ahead of you, but little baby steps and you can do it, and you have a great team behind you with all of us. And any questions, anytime you guys are feeling like it's too hard, you're struggling, you're not getting your results. I have it too. I came home from New Zealand and I had to face all my demons that I've been running from for 15 years when I went to London. And I started eating and I stopped working out because all my friends were in America and I was here. And this has been a big thing where I've had to get on board with this again and motivate myself and kickstart my own workout program. So it's always going to be a choice. Every day I wake up. This morning my alarm went off at 5:20 because I had a 6 o'clock class. And I was like, I teach 3 mornings a week. I really don't feel like going to CrossFit. I'm just going to lie in bed. And I was like, no, you know what? Get your butt out of bed and go to CrossFit. And I did, and it was an awesome workout, and I was so motivated for the rest of the day. So it was making that decision, whether it's getting up in the morning to work out, whether it's putting something in your mouth that you know you shouldn't be eating. Everything is a decision that you alone can make. No one else can make it for you. So just remember that when things are tough and things are tired, it doesn't feel like you make your own decisions and you make your own fate. And I'm here for you guys. Email me, text me, questions, whatever you want. So I look forward to seeing you guys Thursday. Yeah. Hey, cool. Thursday night.
All right. So, how many of you here tonight want to change their lives? Are we here for a game-changing lifetime thing that we're doing? So we're going to get fitter and healthier and such like. So we're in 2014, and what do we do at the beginning of the year? We always make these resolutions. We make these promises to ourselves. It's the end of January now. Who here has kept their resolutions?
I'm just starting.
Anybody?
I'm starting.
No? Any resolutions made? No. Okay. I've made some resolutions, but I prefer to call them, instead of resolutions, I prefer to call them goals. And the goals that I've chosen are to be more mindful and to be... so is there someone coming here now? It looks like someone's coming in here.
That's all
Oh,
right.
that's okay. So anyway, we've just promised to be more mindful for myself and to also create wellness within myself and to create wellness within others as well. So my name's Vicky, and for those of you who haven't met me before, I have a business called Gratitude Fitness, and I work alongside Ellie, and I'm also part of Fit for Business as well. And the way that I'm going to keep my goals is that I break them down into small little compartments so that I can reach my bigger goals. And one of the ways that I do that is at night time I have this little stone beside me that a friend gave me many, many years ago to remind me about being grateful. And when you're grateful, you actually attract more energy and better things that come towards you. So I think of about 3 things. Usually it's more. And in the morning I think of some things that I'm grateful for as well. So it's just a little stone like that just to remind me to be grateful. Okay? And I've brought some along here for each and every one of you, that you can have one as well, so that you can remember. I'm going to pass it around. so that you can remember what you've come here for today, and perhaps when you go home tonight you can think of yourself being grateful for coming along, for meeting other like-minded people, and for starting a commitment to yourselves about doing this. Okay, so that's great. So myself, I'm a personal trainer, plus I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for about 30 odd years, and it's time for a change. And my main focus within my business is pelvic floor health. So this is about if you cough or you sneeze or you're dancing or anything like that, that you leak urine, and this can happen to women and men. So thank you very much. So along with that, I look at pelvic floor health. So anyone who might be experiencing that problem, they can come and give me a text or Facebook me or look on my website, just get in contact with me, have a little quiet word, and I can help you in the right direction for that. I work alongside a women's health and men's health physiotherapist as well. We work together. We've just started that just recently. So yeah, and then there's some pelvic floor health pamphlets just up on the table there if you want to grab one at the end. So one of the other main things I'm here for is that I'm going to be part of your nutrition. So what have you told them about what's going to be happening about the nutrition side of things?
No,
Okay, so I'll just go straight into it.
You can tell them if you like, alright, and I'll sort of
and just talk a little bit more about it. So I'm going to be sent by you guys pictures of your food that you'll be making, and I'm going to be the judge of your food. Okay, and there are going to be prizes each week of healthy foods and such like for you as well.
Sorry, Vicky, just running out of battery. Pause you for like 1 second.
Sure.
Pause.
Sure.
Pause and hold that thought.
I can do that. I can do that and pause and breathe. I've just got a few notes to remind myself what I'm doing and saying, because otherwise I'll just...
Well, you might talk for too long.
I might talk for too long.
We'll take it down.
Cool, back.
Okay, you might want to come over this way just a bit closer to my eyes. Okay, so what am I looking for? Probably healthy looking food that you've prepared yourselves, food that probably isn't too highly processed, things that just got a little bit more thought going on into it. So I thought something that's got any good nutrients in it, and then I'll be judging and letting Ellie know who is the winner for that week.
So
Could you give us an example of what you would think a healthy meal would look
Absolutely.
like? There's many examples, but if you give
Well,
us one or two.
For some examples, well actually I made some lovely meals last night actually. You could be having, instead of having chips or something like that, and you're watching the rugby or something, you could make yourself some kumara chips, some baked kumara chips, just slicing up some kumara chips, baking them in the oven, perhaps making up a salsa. Or maybe you could have a nice hummus or something like that, and that would be a really nice snack that you can have. Guys and girls like that, you can even maybe bake some kale and put some salt or something like that on it with some garlic. That's one of the healthy kind of options that you can go for. For an evening dish, you might want to just look at something plain and simple, some baked fish with maybe some garlic and some herbs on it and some lemon. All your vegetables, make it really colourful. So you want with your rainbow kind of looking ones. And then on top of that you might want to have just a small handful of carbohydrates. Okay, so like you're looking at your sweet potatoes and such like. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Something that's a good portion size as well, and something that might even have a good fat on it as well. Okay, so what I'm talking about there is that I know that it might be a struggle for some of you to be creative, because we could be vegetarian, we may not be vegetarian, but vegetarians are actually quite creative. You could be doing a different type of diet. It could be that you're just not creative in the kitchen, you can't even think about what you're going to be doing for your lunches. I know you're very good at doing your lunches, Chris. Yeah. So what is really important in your diet? Anyone?
Vegetables.
Vegetables. What else? Protein. Someone from here. What else is really good for you to have in your everyday diet?
Fruit.
Your fruit, exactly. Okay. Then there's your dairy products. There's your nuts. They're the type of things that you want to be looking at. So you want to be looking at your good things. So let's talk about meat. That's a form of protein. Protein's really good for your muscle development, for your strength, and for your concentration and everything else like that. So that's your protein. and that keeps you nice and full as well. So what kind of protein are we looking at aside from meat? Anyone? No? Yogurt. Yep, there's protein in yogurt. What else could you have if you're going to be doing a main meal or something like that? We'll start you off with, there could be some tofu or chicken. There's fish, beans. So they're all your type of proteins that you're looking for. So when I'm talking about, you're probably thinking, well, how much protein do I need to have? I've got here a little plate for you guys. So this is about how much protein you would need. If this was your dinner plate, you just need a small plate. You've got to think about your portion sizes as well. 30% of your plate would be protein. So that's your meat, your chicken, etc. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you talk about protein and you talk about the amount of meat that you might have or fish, that's usually about the size of your palm. Okay, so you've got big palms, you're lucky. Small palms. That's about 120, 150 grams of meat, or anything to that effect. And that would be sitting on here, that's it's about my palm and my hand here. Okay. Then if you're looking at your vegetables, remember we talked about the rainbow of vegetables, you want about 40% of that on here. So it's quite a lot when you think about it. So all the vegetables, they give you fibre, they give you calcium, they give you the carbohydrates, so good forms of that. Then you're looking at about this much here of your carbohydrates, so that would be about the size of a potato or how much rice you would be having. So 15% of your meal. The other 15% is your healthy fats. Okay? So does anyone know what I mean by healthy fats? Yeah, monosaturated, yeah. So what kind of fats are they?
Avocado.
Yep. Yep.
Nuts.
Yep. Avocado, your nuts, your oils, oils that aren't heated up. So that kind of stuff. Your coconut oil. Well done, yeah, that's it. So that's the type of thing that you'd be looking for, healthy fats. And you can have a healthy fat with each meal, but when you look at that, you'll be looking at your portion size, so maybe a quarter of an avocado or maybe a tablespoon of oil for your dressing, that sort of thing. That's what you're looking for, about 10 nuts. So that's your healthy fats that you can have. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Okay?
I think it's worth noting the size of that plate too.
That's a standard size plate.
It's to me it looks quite small. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's pretty small to me.
It looks pretty small, but that's probably really a realistic portion
That
size
looks like my
plate.
side plate
Yeah.
for my 2 minutes of
Yeah.
toast.
So sometimes it can actually pay to go out and buy a plate that size, because a lot of people don't actually have them in their kitchen.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in Kaiterikuri the other day for a holiday, and my boys, who are like big strapping things, they went to go and get plates, and they were like the old-fashioned plates, when plates were like that. Your bread and butter plates this big, your bowls were this big, and they kind of got their bowls out like going, what am I supposed to do with this? It's just like, I can only pour that amount of cereal in here, and they had to have a couple, they had a couple of bowls. But I said, that's what the bowls were like in my day, the size of my, this was the size of dinner plates when I was younger.
Back in the old days.
Back in the olden days, back in the days when I used to ride my dragon to school, my dinosaur to school. So yeah, no, the plates are getting bigger and bigger, and so are the portion sizes when you go to restaurants and meals and stuff like that. So if you go out, you can ask the restaurant people if they could make a smaller plate, or you can ask for a smaller portion size. You don't have to eat everything that is on your plate, so to speak. So we've talked about the carb, we've talked about the protein. So now we've got another one, which is your carbohydrates. So what kind of carbohydrates do we have? We have healthy carbohydrates, and we have unhealthy carbohydrates. Someone tell me about healthy carbohydrates. Kumaras, yeah, they're really good carbohydrate. They're fantastic. They've got a low glycemic index in them, so that means that they release your sugars slower. They help keep you fuller for longer as well, so that will stop you from eating more as well. Yeah. So there's some brown rice maybe, that sort of thing. So if you want it opposed to your white potatoes, rices, noodles, etc. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for as well. So people are probably thinking, well, how do I get my calcium? You get your calcium through your vegetables, through your dairy products that you want to be having. Okay. So if we're looking at the dairy products, that's where you also get a lot of things that says low fat. So who here has low fat stuff? Yeah, yeah, low fat. What it is with low fat, you've got to be very careful with your low fat stuff, because what they do is they take the fat out, but they add the sugar back in. because the fat that you've taken out is the taste. So more than likely when they put the sugar back in, it's probably just about the same amount of calories and fat that's going to end up in your body anyway. So I would just probably go for just your normal fat foods, but you can just eat that in moderation. With a lot of people who have low fat food, they think, oh, this is cool, and they eat more because they think that they're doing well for themselves.
So it's just good marketing that they put low fat on.
It's very good marketing, because sometimes it's not even that much low. If you check the sugar content on it, it's actually quite huge. Yeah. So that's something that you need to be a bit mindful of. Yeah. So has anyone got any questions about anything? No?
What proportion of, say, losing weight would be exercise compared to dieting? Like if you're looking to lose weight or get healthier or whatever,
Sure.
what proportion of doing exercise, what
Sure.
percentage would compare to actually changing your nutrition kind of?
I think just with anyone, it's always small, mindful steps that you do rather than doing a whole lot. But it's always good to have your output quite, I'm not too sure about percentages as such, but your output should be a little bit greater than your input, but at the same time your input needs to be of good quality. If you have no breakfast in the morning and you have like a salad at lunchtime and then you have a meal in the evening, that's not really going to help you throughout the day. So you need to think about your sustenance throughout the entire day for the output of energy that you're going to be having. Otherwise you're not going to have the energy to do it, or you're going to wilt away. So yeah, you need to have a good, is there anything you want to say on that one?
I mean, there's a kind of a general consensus, I guess, in the industry that there's about 70% nutrition and about 30% exercise, of plus or minus. So if you, like Becky was mentioning, that she did her marathon training, but she gained weight because she wasn't paying attention to what she ate, and so you can do all this exercise and then you can overcompensate with what you're eating, and yes, you can gain weight. So I would say that nutrition side is even more important if weight loss is an objective of yours. I guess you get a whole host of benefits from the exercise that you don't get from nutrition, but in terms of weight loss, that nutrition side is probably that little bit higher.
Definitely watch what you put in your mouth. And like you say as well, it's just what you do put into your mouth, you can be mindful of that. You're in control of what you put into your mouth as well. Yeah. Another important thing is water. Water is really important. I've just been doing a study recently. There was some self-study on water, and people always say, well, how much water do I have? And they're actually quite shocked about how much that they should be having for their body weight. So there's a formula. So if you want to get out your phones, because I know that everyone's got a phone, and on that phone is a calculator. So grab your phone and your calculator. There's been quite a few studies that I've been reading lately, and they say that there's an amount that you should be having per kilogram of body weight, and that is anywhere between 0.033 mils and 0.039 mils from what I was saying. So if you all put in 0.033 times your body weight. Yeah, so how many litres are you going to be drinking a day?
3.3
Yeah. So that's what you'll be drinking. And if it's on a hot, if it's a hot day, have another glass of water. If you've been doing exercise, you add another glass of water onto that as well. Yeah, so that you just want to keep on replacing your fluid. Your body's made up majorly of water. Like your brain's about 95% of water. Your blood is made up of 95% of water. Your brain's made up of 75% of water. Your body's about 60 to 70% of water. You just want to keep that going. Because what happens with your blood, if your blood's 95% water, then also what's carried in your bloodstream is oxygen. So if you've got a good, a not so viscous type blood, you'll be pumping when you're doing exercise, so you'll be able to pump that oxygen through up to your brain quite easily, but your brain needs oxygen, plus it's going to be getting all that water added to it as well, so that's the best part for you. It helps you with concentration, helps you with flushing out toxins, just helps you lose weight as well. That's really good for you. Yeah, so keep up water, bring your water bottles, don't forget, okay, and your towels. And we'll see you on Tuesday. We're going to be doing some challenges. No, not quite challenges. They'll just be little
Testing,
testing. So before and then do some testing at the end. So it's just for testing. So nice meeting you all, and nice to see everyone else again who's been here before. Thanks.
Cool. Awesome, guys. So what I'm going to move on to now, most of you know me, my name's Ali. I'm going to be a little bit on the other side with you guys this time. So I am going to be joining in your Tuesday sessions, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later. But what I want to spend the rest of the session doing is just sort of reinforcing a little bit more nutrition, getting you guys to start being accountable for your nutrition, and then we'll move on to some goal setting. So I'm going to share some very personal goals of mine with you, and then you guys are going to set your own goals, and then we'll finish just with a few sort of ins and outs of what's going to happen at Bootcamp starting next week. So I actually did a seminar on Monday, and I've just got a few bullet points of nutrition that I thought would just quickly show you, just to reinforce just what Vicky said there. So these couple of pages here just cover sort of what, when and how to eat. And I just want you to think about these because you're going to start writing down and setting your own sort of nutrition goals as well. So Vicky's talked about portions. Okay, sort of half that plate is going to be made up of salad, vegetables, and we've got the smaller portion of protein and the smaller portion again of fats. Natural foods. Okay, so think about where your foods come from. Okay, is it grown out of the ground? Does it come off a tree? Does it come from something living? Or does it come out of a can or a packet? Okay, so the latter are the types of foods that you want to be minimising, if not avoiding altogether. Organic foods, why would we want to maximise organic foods in our diet? You guys tell me. You've been very quiet tonight, but I'm going to make you tell me. I'm sure you guys know.
Chemicals and exercise.
Yeah. Definitely. So in terms of fruit and vegetables, yes, non-organic fruits and vegetables have been sprayed with herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, those sort of things. I guess they can start to build up toxic residue in your body, and it can make it harder to burn fat. Okay, it can just make it harder in general for your body to function effectively. And when you look on the back of packets and cans, you'll probably see that on a lot of them there's numbers. Okay, those numbers are chemicals that have been made in a factory, so they might be colourings, flavourings, preservatives, and for the same reason as the pesticides and fungicides, we want to keep those to a minimum, okay, so that your body can focus on what it's supposed to be doing rather than actually having to try and flush those chemicals out all the time. Vicky's talked about water. From doing that calculation, you guys should have a good idea of how much water you should be drinking. I want you to start thinking about these areas and think, well, what areas, I might know all this already, but I'm probably not perfect. So what areas do I need to be working on, okay? Do you drink 1 glass of water a day? If so, maybe that could be one of your goals throughout the boot camp, okay, to gradually increase your water intake. Maybe not go straight up to the 3 litres that is recommended if you're only drinking a glass a day, okay? Your goal for the first week of boot camp might be just to drink 2 glasses per day, and then 3 glasses per day in the 3rd week and so forth. Protein, carbs and fat, so just try and be aware of having some of each of those at every meal, okay? Like Vicky said, that'll keep you fuller for longer, will also help you burn fat. We actually need to take in fat to burn fat. Okay, so Vicky mentioned, some of the light products and things like that that are full of sugar. Sugar tends to make us more fat than fat does. Okay, we don't have time to go into the explanation of how that happens, but excess sugar in the body gets converted to fat. Okay, and eat right for you. Okay, so I put that point down because everybody's different. So if you find that you eat a certain type of food and it's supposedly a healthy food, but it makes your stomach sore, it makes your stomach bloated, you just don't feel right, you feel tired after eating it, then I would recommend that you take that out of your diet at least for a short amount of time, and you might be able to reintroduce it later. But we're all made up kind of different. I mean, some people respond better to higher protein diets, some people respond better with higher fat or higher carbohydrates, so that mix should be changed slightly for each person. So you've got to, I'm going to be giving you guys some food diaries, and you're going to be writing down the food that you take in, and it's a good idea to note down how that food makes you feel. Okay, so does it make you feel tired or energetic? Okay. When to eat? Regularly. Who here eats breakfast, lunch and dinner every day? Put your hand up. Okay, good. So most of you, and that's definitely what you need to be doing at a minimum. Okay, breakfast, lunch and dinner, that is enough for some people. Okay. Others, like myself, need to have snacks. Okay, I would not last between breakfast and lunch. That might be partly because I'm vegetarian, so I do eat a higher percentage of carbohydrates in my diet, which leaves me probably not as full for as long as if I had a higher intake of protein. So you need to do what's right for you, okay? But breakfast, lunch and dinner at minimum. You may want to add in a healthy snack with that protein, carbs and fat in between breakfast and lunch, and or lunch and dinner, maybe even after dinner, depending on what time you're eating dinner and what exercise you're doing as well. And definitely eat straight after exercise. So I would encourage you guys to bring a snack with you to boot camp. Okay, bring a piece of fruit or something. Just have it in your car, ready to eat straight after. Chances are that you probably won't have your dinner unless you're really, really lucky and someone's cooked it for you and it's there on the table as soon as you get home. In that case, you don't need to bring a snack, but what I would recommend is that you eat within 30 minutes of finishing your exercise. Okay, you need to replace the carbohydrate that you've lost, and you need to be taking protein as well to help your muscles repair. So within 30 minutes, whether that's going to be your dinner or a snack to tide you over, your choice. How should we eat? Just a few points, slowly. Why do you think that we should be eating slowly? Someone have a guess. Amanda, why do you think it would be a good idea to eat slowly rather than stuffing all your food down as fast as you can?
But just because it takes time to go down to realise that you're full.
Exactly, yeah. So if you eat it all as fast as you can, it'll probably take just a few minutes to finish your meal, and then you'll be like, I'm still hungry, and you'll want to just keep eating, and then chances are about 20 minutes later you're going to feel really sick and full and awful. So eat slowly. I do have a friend who absolutely scoffs his plate down so quickly before anyone else has really even started their meal. And he, every time I see him, he asks me, what's the best thing that I can do to lose weight? What's the best type of exercise? What's the best food to eat? And all he needs to do is slow down and eat at the same speed that his wife eats, and he would be fine. But because he scoffs it down, he just continually keeps putting food in for the rest of the meal while since we started eating. So eat slowly until you're about 80% full for the similar sort of reason that if you wait for sort of 10 or 20 minutes after your meal, you'll probably realise that you are full enough, you're not hungry. Do make sure that you're eating enough, but you don't need to eat till you're over full. Make extra for lunch if you can. I pretty much never make a single recipe. Okay, if you're a busy person, and I've always been a busy person, so I've always either made all my meals on Sunday for the week. When I was pregnant last year, 38 weeks pregnant, I filled an entire freezer with meals just to get me through the first few weeks of when my bubba was born, so that I just knew that I'd have healthy meals there to eat. Okay, so if you can make sort of bigger meals, at least you know you'll have something for lunch. If you know that lunch is your problem, you know you're eating takeaways for lunch or you're skipping lunch or something, you've got to identify where your problems are in your nutrition and figure out what you're going to do about it. 80-20 rule, who can tell me what that is?
80% of the time you're eating healthily and 20% of the time you still allow for exceptions.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like 80% of the time you want to be pretty near perfect, and 20% don't sweat it, okay? That is quite a high percentage. So if you think of 10 meals, say breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, 8 out of 10 of those need to be pretty near perfect. Okay, so lots of fruit, lots of veg, lots of nuts, seeds, meats, natural foods, and 20% of the time, that might be when you're going out, that might be when you have friends come over, yes, you might be going out to dinner to their house or to a restaurant. Those are the times that I leave as my 20%, so I go out and I have a good time and I don't worry about what I'm eating. I order what I want to. I'm vegetarian too, so I don't usually have many options, so I just order the vegetarian option. But if you try and deprive yourself and be perfect 100% of the time, you are much more likely to binge. Okay, and to think, oh, I can't have that, so I want it even more. Style of cooking. What do you think that's got to do with being healthy?
Don't deep fry. So
Deep frying, nah, not the best. My friend, she went to live in Ireland for a year, and she said that everybody had a deep fryer in their house, and she came back with an extra 20 kilos on her from that. So yeah, think about the style of cooking. So if you're boiling foods, that's going to remove quite a lot of the nutrition. If you're cooking them at really, really high heats as well, that's going to remove some of the nutrition from the food. So think about, light stir frying. Think about having a large proportion of raw foods on your plate as well. Okay, just to keep the nutritional content intact. Okay, now before I give you your food diaries, let's just talk about a few habits. Okay, so in terms of nutrition, planning is very, very important. What do we need to plan? Shopping, exactly. So we need to have a shopping list, and we need to plan when we're going to go shopping as well. We need to plan to go shopping before we run out of food. Okay, so you need to start identifying these areas that you need to work on and set them maybe as sort of weekly targets. I do my shopping online, okay, so I don't need to plan necessarily when to go out and do it, and I find that takes quite a lot of the hassle out, and it also stops me from buying things that I would buy if I was in the shop and I saw them in front of my face. Just like if they were in my fridge, I would eat them, okay? Just like when I was home at my mum's house in Gisborne over the summer, I ate whatever she had made. That was little mini carrot cakes, little mini cheese cakes, all these beautiful sort of homemade cakes and slices and things that I don't ever have. I don't really think about them because they're not in my fridge. I just shop online, I just stick to my list, buy myself a bit of dark chocolate, and that's kind of what I have when I feel like I want to have something. So you got to see what's going to work for you guys. Preparation, how do you think we could prepare to eat healthy? So it's just kind of leading on from the planning side. What sort of things would help you be prepared to eat well?
I do all mine on Sundays, and I box all my lunches up, so in the morning, because I get home from teaching class and I have literally half an hour to get changed, get showered, get out the door to work. So I just grab my box of salad, my box of fruit salad, a thing of nuts, boom, off my goes. All in the fridge Sunday, like little packages and Tupperwares of food, and so I don't have to think about it for the rest of the week. It's all there ready to go.
Awesome. Does anybody else do that?
no.
It's taken 35 years for me to stop doing that, so.
It's another couple of tips, for example, in terms of water. If you thought, well, I just forget to drink water, make sure that you have a bottle at your desk, make sure you have a bottle in your car, okay, put them in a few different places, or put a reminder on your phone, every hour, drink water, okay, whatever it is that you need to do. If you perhaps want to add something like smoothies into your diet, get that smoothie maker out of the cupboard, put it on the bench so that you actually see it and you're going to use it. So it doesn't just sit under there and you totally forget about it and you open the fridge and just take whatever's in the fridge. Accountability. Okay, I've been in the fitness industry for 13 or 14 years, and I can tell you that out of all my clients, the ones that regularly write in their nutrition diary, whether that's an online diary or in a wee book like this, they are the most successful people, okay? And the more people that you sort of tell or are accountable to, the more successful you'll be too, because you have to report to someone and tell them what you've eaten. The same with goals, which we'll do after this, okay? So how about you guys just buddy up with the person who's sitting next to you. We do have one person missing today as well. So Amanda, if you go with Chris and Marisa. So just, yeah, if you guys can buddy up, what we are going to do is I'm going to give you out the food diary. Who's written in one of these before?
Katrina is amazing at writing in her diary.
Yes, so a lot of you guys did this last time and did it really well. Did you get something out of doing that regularly?
Yes.
Do you think that it made you more mindful of what you were eating?
So I was really mindful.
Yeah, good. And it's not something you necessarily have to write in forever, because then you'll start to create habits after some time. but I think when you first start writing in it, you'll figure out that you didn't realise how much you were eating, or you forget about certain things that you eat, or you might just be like, oh, I've got to write that down, so I'm going to choose, instead of eating that, I'm going to eat this instead. You know, I've told you quite a bit about the what in terms of nutrition, but I know that you guys all know what to eat. I know that you know it's better to eat an apple than a cookie, okay, but just write it down, and then you're probably more likely to actually do it. So take one diary, pass them on. And these diaries are spaces for goal setting and nutrition. Did you all bring a pen, like I mentioned in the email? One there, great. I've got a few pens, but does anyone need one? Got one?
No, you don't get one.
Got one. And a pen?
There's no room
Okay, so all you're going to do is turn to the back section. Oh, yeah, first of all, write your name on it. That's a good idea because they all look the same.
There's a one for me.
Oh,
Are you going to write?
do you not have one from
going to.
last time?
That is the question.
Why don't you just
Do
do
you have one?
That's actually that's a very good point.
Right.
That's your goal.
That's my goal is to finish my food diary this year.
So if you guys turn, after you've written your name on it, if you turn to the back section, which is exercise and nutrition diary, you're going to write down what you've eaten today, just so that we get our food diary started. Would you like one, Brian? Okay, and last of all, this is going to be your buddy, so if you don't know their name yet, find out what their name is. Maybe offer your phone number as well, if you're happy to do that, because throughout the 8 weeks, you're going to keep your buddy accountable. Okay, so you are going to bring this to every session. Okay, and whoever's instructing for that day is going to give you a tick if you bring your food diary, and I want you to show it to your buddy when you bring it as well, so they can have a bit of a look, and you can have a look at theirs as well, and you can see if they're doing what they say they're going to do.
Who's Ross's buddy?
I don't need one.
I think you need to.
I think you need one.
X.
She's not here today, so she'll be with Katrina.
She's going to be
Oh, I
Katrina.
see.
So I think you are going to be accountable to Becky and myself.
I think that whoever's the instructor is Bryce's.
Yeah, I think if Bryce doesn't do it, there should be punishment.
There is punishment.
Okay, so make sure you know your buddy's name. If you want to send them text messages or an email or give them a call to check how they're going, then you can do that, or you can just do it at boot camp just to follow up on each other. So just one last point to note with the nutrition diary, the more detail that you write down, the better. Okay, so if you write sandwich, that doesn't really mean that much. Okay, what type of bread was it on? What spreads were on it? What else was on it? Was there one sandwich or there two? Just like if you write down chocolate, okay, 2 squares of dark chocolate is very different to 2 Moro bars. Okay, so you need to be as specific as possible. Include the times that you eat as well. Okay, because if there's big gaps between eating, you're probably going to start to feel tired later in the day, have lower energy, so you need to be addressing that and making sure that you're eating at regular intervals. Okay, so like I said before, write down how you're feeling as well. You might go, oh, hang on, I had 7 hours between breakfast and lunch, that's why I was feeling rubbish, and that's why I had takeaways for lunch, because I was really hungry by that stage. Okay, so the more detail you can write down, the better for you. I believe Beck B, who's not here tonight, I believe she was very good at the. She even
moods and everything.
yeah, so she wrote down sort of her moods, and she would include like chocolate bar wrappers and things as well. And so she was very like honest about everything that she took in, and that's important too, is that you need to be honest, or else you're not really going to get further towards those goals anyway. So it's all about you guys. Okay, so please write in this every day. You can start today, not tomorrow. You've already started today, and bring it to every bootcamp session. And we will be having 1 or 2 prizes as well at the end of the bootcamp, so that might be in relation to the nutrition diary. So we're going to move on to some goal setting now, which you've got space for in your book too. And I thought that what I would do is just share with you some of my goals. Okay, so they're very personal goals, but I've decided that I'll share them with you to help you guys set your own goals. So I'm just going to explain how, I'm going to first of all share my goals and then show you how they follow certain principles for goal setting. Okay, so what you will be doing is setting long, medium and short-term goals. Okay, long-term goals need to be 6 months or more from now. Okay, but I encourage you to think as big as you can. If you have a goal that you think is going to take you 5 years to achieve, that's awesome. That's what we call a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. Okay, so you need to write that one down. If you have a goal that's maybe 1 year, that's long term as well, and 6 months. I know a lot of people have trouble thinking in the long term, but I encourage you to really try and do so. Maybe start with setting a small goal and think, well, how can I make that a little bit bigger, and how can I make it a little bit bigger? Okay, you also set a medium-term goal, and let's, for the purposes of bootcamp, make that between now and the end of bootcamp. Okay, so 2 months. And then you're going to set short-term goals, so that will take you to the middle of bootcamp. It'll be 4 weeks from now. And then from there, you really need to break down and you need to think, what am I going to do each week? Okay, and you'll note these down in your food diary. You've got to be thinking what targets are going to get me to that short-term goal. Okay, so you've got to be doing things weekly and also daily to get you to your short-term and then your medium-term and then your long-term goals. Okay, so I'm going to share with you my goals and show you how they cover some different areas, and hopefully that will get you, so start to think about what you guys want to be achieving over the next 8 weeks and beyond. Okay, so 2014, so just to let you know, I do set goals in all areas of my life as well. I've simplified them this year. I am the proud mum of an 8-week-old baby, so I do have quite a lot going on at the moment, and I have simplified to just set business goals, health and fitness goals and family goals. Okay, so usually I set also community goals, personal development, professional development, financial goals as well. So sort of just condensed it down a little bit this year, and what I'm going through here are just my health and fitness goals. Okay, so my first goal is my stomach measurement. So I want to get my stomach measurement the same as where it was pre-pregnancy. Okay, so this would fit into category of an aesthetic goal. This is sort of the way that I want to look. I want to fit back into my clothes. Okay, I want to feel confident. So those are all sort of reasons why I would choose that goal. I hate shopping. Okay, contrary to what most people believe about women, I actually hate shopping. I don't want to buy a whole new wardrobe, and I don't want to continue to wear my maternity wardrobe. So these are my maternity pants.
Oh, that's stretchy.
Yeah, so a little stretchy bit on the side, so I'm still wearing them. I've got about 8 kilos to lose to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight. I'm not that concerned about that, to be honest. As long as I continue breastfeeding, my boobs are going to stay and they're going to keep me a few kilos heavier. So I'm not too worried about that, which is why I've chosen the stomach measurement. So you don't have to focus on scales. Okay, and I think I have about 12 centimetres still to lose. And yeah, people still ask me, or don't even ask, but they still tell me that I'm pregnant now. Okay, so I guess I want to be able to go out and not have people comment on my pregnancy anymore. And yes, I do wear fitted clothes because I don't really care that much about what they think of my partner. He makes me feel really good about my body, so I just kind of keep wearing the clothes that I was wearing before, I guess. I went into Hot Flow Yoga, which is my favourite yoga studio, but I just went back to my first classes 2 weeks ago, and they haven't figured out that I'm not pregnant anymore, I don't think. And the last time I saw them, I was 36 weeks pregnant, and I was massive, and that was 3 months ago.
And no one said anything like, have you
Well, the first thing that they said when I walked in, the receptionist said, "Oh, it must have been hot for you yesterday." I said, "No, not really, why is that?" And she said, "Oh, because you're pregnant." I said, "I'm not pregnant." She's like, "Oh, have you had the baby?" I'm like, "Really? That was 3 months ago, and I was a really big pregnant person. Like, I was just right out the front, really." And so I was like, "Okay, that's fine." And she's like, "Oh, I know how it is." I was like, "Oh, I'm still trying to get my stomach back." She's like, "I know how it is. I've had kids too." Okay, whatever. And then the next day that I went in, And there was a guy on reception, and he just held his stomach and he looked at me and he's like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "Fine, thanks, how are you?" So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't actually bother me that much. I'm writing I have written a prenatal blog, and now I'm writing a postnatal blog, so it's all just stuff for my blog. But yeah, I would like to get back. And it is gradually happening, but it's a slow process. And you know, with some of your guys' aesthetic goals as well, you'll find that it is a really, really slow road, but you will make progress. Okay. Another goal, half marathon in May. Okay. So that fits into cardiovascular fitness category. For me, it's not really cardiovascular fitness. Like, I don't really get that puff doing it, but I find it really, really hard because it hurts my hips and it hurts my back, and it's just hard to run now. I used to find running quite easy. I don't at the moment. The reason why I want to do that, just to get a base really so that I can build up to other goals later on. 20-week challenge. How many of you guys have heard of the 20-week challenge? Is anyone planning on entering this year? So I have been a trainer in the challenge for of the last few years, I guess, since I moved to Christchurch, and this year I'm putting myself on the other side and I'm going to be an entrant. Okay, so I've already set my 20-week challenge goals. I'm not working on these ones just yet, but I'm starting to build a base that I know will get me towards these. And the reason for these goals as well are for a base for other goals later on, which you'll see soon. Okay, so 5 chin-ups, okay, 50 push-ups, splits 3 ways. Okay, these are big goals for me. I do have kind of natural strength once I start getting back into it, so I'm pretty sure I can achieve those goals if I really work on it. This one is going to be the really hard one for me, the splits. Okay, I haven't done splits since I was 13, so, and I quit gymnastics. So yeah, and I do yoga regularly as well, but I'm still extremely inflexible. So as it stands, I can't even do 1 full push-up at the moment. My abdominals, they separated a lot when I was pregnant, and so I'll be working at sort of a lower level, just building up lots of half push-ups, and then when I can probably do about 15 now, but it's a real struggle. So when I can get sort of that 20 to 30, then I'll start doing the full push-ups. Okay, so these are quite specific goals. They cover quite a few goal setting rules, which we'll go into shortly, but I just want to show you that I've also set some big goals, okay, so some really long-term goals. This, doing the splits, that's building up to just getting back to what I used to be able to do in my gymnastics days, backwards, forwards, walkovers, backflip, flip-flap. I want to get my grade 2 kayak certificate next year, and that is so that I can then do the coast to coast in 2018. Now, I've had a bucket list for a long time, but I've only just actually put dates on these now. It might seem a bit crazy to you guys. I've set goals right up to 10 years from now. Okay, but for me, the coast to coast was always just a few years away. It's a few years away. So I was like, well, what do I actually need to do to achieve that in 2018? I need to do the Gold Rush first, which is another sort of adventure race. I need to get back into my cycling, but I need to primarily get my kayak certificate because that's the bit that I've never done anything of. Okay, starting to ride my road bike again, I'm starting to run again. But yeah, there's certain steps. Okay, and goes right up to 10 years. Okay, so I have completed all the Great Walks in New Zealand. I've done maybe 3 or 4 of them.
On that, cool.
Yeah. So probably my favourite activity is to go hiking. It's like my favourite thing to do in the whole world.
There's a big difference between climbing and hiking.
Yeah.
Climbing, man.
Yeah, so there was a climbing goal back there as well. Travelling as well, that's something that I really love to do. But when we set our family goals, we set our holidays based around these goals as well. So at the end of this year, we'll be doing another one of the Great Walks. Okay, so in 10 years they will all be completed. Okay, walk the Te Araroa Trail, that's about 4 months out to walk the length of New Zealand. So I have to then set financial goals and go, how are we going to figure out to take 4 months off to walk the length of the country? Okay, so you can set goals, I guess, in all areas of your life. These are just my health and fitness ones. There's some really big long-term ones. So I encourage you guys to think big and set your own. Okay, and make sure that they cover certain criteria. As I mentioned, long, medium, short term. Think about what areas. I like to cover sort of all areas because I want to be fit and I want to be strong and I want to be flexible. SMART goals. What does SMART stand for? What's the S stand for? Specific. Yep. So if we think, for example, of my 5 chin-up goal, that's pretty specific. It's pretty clear. You know what it is. M. Measurable. Yep. So my 5 chin-up goal, I'm going to do 5. So it's measurable. Okay. Those goals as well. They're for the end of the 20-week challenge, which takes to about August time, I think. A.
Achievable.
Achievable. Yes. So they want to be achievable. I believe all goals are achievable over a realistic time frame. It depends what sort of person you are. I always set on the bigger side for my goals because if I achieve them all, I would be like, oh, I should have set a bigger goal. That really sucks. And I would feel kind of deflated, that I should have set a bigger goal. But if you know that you feel deflated by not achieving goals, then make sure that they really are sort of realistic. I just don't mind if I know that I will achieve all those goals. I just know that sometimes the time frame, I guess, extends out a little bit longer, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so make sure they're achievable. R. Realistic. Yep, and so that sort of fits in with achievable. R can also stand for relevant. Okay, so they've got to be sort of relevant to you and what you want. And T. Yes, so they've got to be time specific. So my 5 chin-up goal, that is to be achieved by the end of August, which is the end of the 20-week challenge. Same with the push-ups, same with the splits. Okay, and then my goal is to maintain those for the rest of the year. Okay, they must be positively written, so they must be what you are going to do. Okay, I will do this, I'm not going to do this. And my mum's a classic example. I went home over the summer and I said, what are your goals for 2014? And she said, don't rush, don't stress. Okay, so when you have the word don't in front of something, it pretty much all you hear is the word that comes after that. Okay, so the don't becomes irrelevant and you just hear rush and stress. Okay, you don't want to say what you're not going to do, you need to say what you are going to do. And your goals must be important to you. Okay, not important to your partner, not important to anyone else, your mum, your dad. It's got to be things that you want to do. Okay, you've got to understand why they're important to you. Okay, ultimately my goals are important to me so that I can, I guess, keep up with my daughter and I can feel good about myself, and those are sort of like the why reasons. And then maybe we'll share 1 or 2 goals as well. So I hope that over this last little bit of the seminar that you guys have started thinking of some goals, and you're going to write your own down now. So I think that's in the front of the book, goals and objectives. Okay, even if you only think of one goal, okay, one health and fitness goal that you want to achieve over the course of the boot camp, write it down. If you've got 5 or 10 goals, write them all down and then start to perhaps time frame them. And if you're setting long, medium and short term goals, your goals may be very closely related. So if your goal is just weight loss, for example, you want to lose 20 kilos, okay, that might be a 1-year goal. And then 10 kilos might be a 6-month goal, 5 kilos might be a 3-month goal, and so forth. So they might all be related like that. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to think about that and write them down. Some of those goals are really specific, some of them need to be a little bit more specific. So think, for example, get strong or get fit. What sort of things are going to tell you that you're fit? What would you be able to do that perhaps you can't do now? Would it be run around Hagley Park without stopping? Would it be doing a full push-up? Okay, so get as specific as you can. What could you do with your goals? Where could you put them, do you think, to make you more likely to achieve them? So apart from just telling your buddy, okay, apart from telling as many people as you can, sticking them up actually, but maybe writing them up really big and bold.
Put them on your fridge so when
Yeah.
you go for that bit of chocolate.
Yeah, so fridge is a great one. So when you go to the seminar on Monday, someone said in the fridge, so stuck on the things that are in there that shouldn't be in there. But yeah, on the fridge is a great one. Where else?
Near your bed, so you see it when you get up.
Yeah, first thing that you see when you wake up, first thing that you put into your mind when you wake up. My partner and I have got a whole wall covered with all our goals and visions and quotes and things that inspire us, and so I guess that's the first thing that if I sit up out of bed, that I can see that whole wall.
I
it
used to
just
have
gets into
all
that
my
sub-
bib numbers and medals from all my races that I did, and that was my wall of achievement. And that used to motivate me. I'd see that in the morning when I woke up with my little bibs stuck up around my wardrobe and my medals, and that was what, and so I was like, yeah, I can run now. Oh, that's so cool, I'm gonna get out and go for a run. So, that's what I
Cool. And these are all forms of, I guess, positive motivation. Some people are motivated negatively, and if you know that you're a person that's motivated negatively, I'm not saying write your goals negatively, but if you've got a picture of yourself that you really don't like and that motivates you to change, then put that picture up. But if you're motivated by a picture of you when you were looking your best and that's where you want to be, then put that picture up. So everyone's is sort of a little bit different. Just I guess choose the way that's going to actually make you take action to change and achieve your goals. And having things stuck up on the wall just gets into your subconscious. Okay, so I don't read all the stuff on my wall every day or anything, but it's there and it's just slowly sort of creeping into my brain. Barriers, what are they all about? Life is a barrier.
What's in your head?
Yeah, so they're things that will stop you from achieving your goals.
Fears.
So, what's that?
Fears.
Fears, yeah. So for example,
Oh, you might have a fear of crowded places or doing boot camps with 10 other crazy people. You know?
yes, that could be a fear and that could stop you achieving your goals. So I want you to think about what your barriers are, okay? The most common barrier, I believe, is time. Okay, so people say they don't have enough time, so you have to figure out how you're going to work around that barrier. Okay, we don't need to be going to the gym for 2 hours and working out. There's ways that you can use small amounts of time to achieve a lot. Okay, other barriers could be cost. Okay, it could be scared of different things, fears like Bryce mentioned. Okay, so think about what your barriers are and how you can minimise those or eliminate them. Okay. Can anyone give me an example, anything that they think might get in the way of them achieving their goals or anything that's got in the way in the past?
Lack of willpower.
Like a willpower? Yeah. So just sort of that general like self-motivation
Well,
or
maybe
perseverance.
like, oh, I might have takeaway tonight instead of cooking tea or
Mhm.
something like that. So
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline.
Yeah. And did you find any ways to help get around that barrier?
No, I would just
Just do it.
yeah, just do it. And like sometimes with boot camp, even though I went to every class last time, I was like, sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. I don't want to go, or it's raining, and but
And it's going to rain. It just to everyone, there will be rainy days.
Last time,
I think
our
so, it's not
first
gonna rain,
one
so
was-
it's
It wasn't raining, it didn't rain in my boot camp, sorry.
Those rainy days are the most awesome. So you know, if you feel like, oh, I just can't be bothered tonight, I just don't want to go out. Maybe if you know that might be you, make the decision to call your buddy and tell them, oh, I'm just feeling like this, and then they can talk you around into coming, or to call an instructor or something. You need to think of a strategy that's going to help you, okay, to show up, because everybody knows that they will feel better at the end.
Just like I said this morning, it's a decision that only you can make. You just have to make the right decision. I didn't want to go to CrossFit this morning, but I felt so much better my whole day for going. But I really, really wanted to spend an extra hour in bed at the time, at 5:20. So it is only a decision that you can make to get up and to do things, or to cook the right dinner, what you're going to stuff in your face.
Yeah, and you've got to think really seriously about what's going to help you. You guys are paid up front for boot camp. I think that helps when you pay for something in advance and you're like, oh, now I've got to go to these sessions, rather than, oh, I could go or I couldn't go. making sure that you're prepared, whether that means like having your running shoes on, ready to go, whatever it takes. But like Vicky said, you guys have got to make that decision. Okay, and remember your goals. So, to finish off with, you guys have done some nutrition, you've done some goal setting. We're just going to go over a few sort of aspects of boot camp, and then Bryce is just going to finish and motivate you all like he does, because he does it so well. Okay, so just a few notes that I've written up there. We've got a couple of different things that are happening this time around. I know most of you were here at the end of last year. We don't have as many people as we had last time. We had about 20 last time, and we were planning on getting maybe about 20 this time, but instead we've just got a really awesome little group, so we'll be able to keep more of an eye on you. Normally what we were going to do was split into two groups, legends and superstars. Okay, so they have sort of different criteria. With the legends, for example, you need to be able to do 5 full push-ups and run 2 kilometres non-stop, have any injuries and things under control. So we were going to split for the majority of the session, okay, and have 2 different instructors. We won't be able to do that just because the group is smaller, but the instructors will be able to give you progression levels that are appropriate for you, okay. So you'll still sort of be allocated as a superstar or a legend, and there'll be just appropriate progression levels. So it'll be like you can do these on your knees, push-ups on your knees or push-ups on your feet, for example. Let's start actually at the top, push-up progression challenge. So what's going to happen after every warm-up and stretch is that you're going to do some push-ups each week. In week 1, after each session, you're going to do 5 push-ups. Okay, that could be on your knees or it could be on your feet. If you can't do 5 in a row, that's okay, but you just complete 5. Okay. Now, if your instructor, Vicky's going to be your instructor on Tuesdays, Becky on Thursdays, and Paul, who's not here today, on Saturdays. If they forget to get you to do your push-ups, you can get them to do double the number that you were meant to do on that day.
Ooh. I'm gonna sit
I just made that up now. You guys didn't know about that. Okay, so it's going to be 5 in the first week, 10 in the second week after every session.
Don't forget that last week, eh?
And up to 40 in week 8. Okay, but Bryce will be doing 50 because his goal for boot camp is to do 50 push-ups. Okay, so if we get to week 8 and your instructor forgets to do that after the warm-up and stretch,
3 hours watching me do 80 push-ups.
we can do 80 push-ups in week 8. Okay, so you guys have my permission. The 800 challenge. So these were just sort of suggestions and things that were flying around just to help you just get the most out of boot camp. And the 800 challenge is an exercise chosen by you guys that you do outside of boot camp. Okay, now when you're doing those push-ups each session after the warm-up and stretch, your instructor will remind you about your 800 challenge and check how many of your exercise you've done. So the idea is that you choose any exercise. It could be burpees, could be push-ups. If you want to be really, so for you, Bryce, it might be push-ups because if that's your goal for the end of boot camp. It could be squats or it could be lunges. I don't know, sprint or whatever you want it to be. But you've got to choose an exercise that you're going to do 800 of outside boot camp. Okay, so that's 100 per week, 100 repetitions of the exercise per week. You could do them all together, or you could do a few each day. And so when your instructors check in with you, they're going to just ask you how many you're up to for the week
We
of
can
your
almost put that in
exercise.
our nutrition block, couldn't we? Like
We are
each
going
day.
to do that, yes. So you've got to think of your exercise right now and decide what it is. So squats, for example, a body weight squat is going to be a bit easier to do than a burpee. So if you know that you haven't been doing much exercise recently, or you're still working on building up your strength, that squats might be a good one. Whereas if you think, oh no, I'm exercising quite regularly at the moment, doing quite high intensity stuff, burpees would be a great challenge for me. 100 burpees per week. If you don't get your 100 in that week, well, you've just got more to do the next week, don't you? Okay, so the instructors will ask what number you're up to each week, and you should get up to 800 by the end of the 8 weeks. So write down somewhere near the front of your book, in your goals section perhaps, what your exercise is going to be for the 800 challenge. You guys don't have one. So
I've already got
Already got it.
What's yours, Vicky?
Burpees. I hate them so much.
And Vicky?
And then 2 laps of the pool.
2 laps of the pool.
And laps, 800 laps of the pool. Right?
Wow, 800 laps. That is awesome.
Twice a week.
You swim twice a week. Yeah.
That will be twice a week.
Yeah.
If I go 50 laps.
50 laps.
Great. What about you guys? Push-ups?
I think I was doing push-ups, yeah.
Push-ups. Mine's going to be squats because I'm working sort of like on the foundation of my fitness at the moment, and my back and hips aren't really quite in alignment at the moment. You'll see on Tuesdays I won't be doing sort of everything. So when there's sort of sprinting activities, I'll be plodding along. There's just a few things here and there, like abdominal work that I won't be doing at the moment, but squats, great foundation exercise for me, so that's going to be mine. What about you, Amanda?
I'm just deciding between squats or like
Uh-huh. Okay, that's cool. Well, you've got a few more minutes to decide, Chris.
Push-ups.
Push-ups, nice.
Oh,
Be able to get
here we go.
Hey, here comes the competition. Here we go.
Narissa?
15 easily.
Oh, excuses
already.
Okay, Vicky Rach hasn't thought of hers yet, so just ask her on Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
perhaps.
will be.
What's the
Thank
rest
you.
of it?
Squats.
Squats and squats. Jared,
Probably squats.
probably.
Oh, I haven't really decided.
Okay, well, just as long as you decide by Tuesday, because your instructors will ask you. Ben?
I think those leg lower things.
Oh, good challenge, yeah, for the abs.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Phil?
Yeah, I'm thinking something abdominal or squats.
Abdominals or squats? That's cool. Just decide by next week. And Katrina?
Push-ups.
Push-ups. Sweet, yeah, because I saw that was one of your bootcamp goals.
On your knees or full?
Well, start with me.
No,
Are you going
I just want to be specific.
Hell no. Well, I do. Someone was giving me shit last night because I was doing box push-ups still. So by the end of boot camp, I want
Sort of
to do
motivation.
lazy ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't.
Okay, last
yeah.
couple of points, guys, just so that we can get you finished up. Teamwork activities. So your instructors are going to be making sure that there's lots of teamwork activities throughout the 8 weeks. That was a bit of feedback from last time. So that will be getting you guys to work together as much as possible. It might be getting a bunch of equipment from A to B. So that's these guys are going to be making sure that your activities are planned around that. As Vicky touched on before, the pics and the recipes, this is just the specifics of it, and I will send through an email just to remind you about this. So on weeks 1, 3, 5 and 7, you're going to send her, like from your phone, or you can send by email, a photo of a meal, a healthy meal that you have made. You've got between Monday and Friday 5 p.m, okay, to send through your healthy meal, and then Vicky will judge that, and she'll let you know who the winner is, and she'll bring the prize on Tuesday to whoever had the healthiest meal, and she'll sort of say a couple of things about maybe why that meal was the winner as well. So it's weeks 1, 3, 5 and 7, 2, 4, 6 and 8, you're going to send her a recipe, okay, a healthy recipe. If it's really healthy, she might decide to share it with the rest of the group, and again she's going to choose whichever one she thinks is the best, okay. So weeks 1 to 8, there's going to be those different ongoing competitions. That's just to help you with your accountability, and yeah, just to be even more mindful of what you're putting into your mouths. As we said, that is very important.
Are we going to have our own private Facebook page?
Are we? I don't know. Would we like to do that?
Then you can post the pictures on the Facebook.
Yeah. Well, I know you put one of them in your natural
Yeah.
talent fitness one, but if we could just have a private one, Vicky has one for our boot camp and everything, and then we just know it's just us who see it. We
Yeah.
can vent if we're having a bad day, or say, oh, found
Is
this.
everyone on Facebook?
Would you be willing to set up that page though, Vicky? Because it requires management at like another page, you know, so it would be something.
Oh, Vicky's a private Facebook.
But I mean, how about Vicky? How would you like it to work? Like, how will it work best for you? If people email you, or if they post it on your gratitude page, or what would you like?
They could post it on the gratitude page. What do you think? Might have it as part of the gratitude fitness page?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, no,
I
that's
was
okay.
just using it as an example how we had a private bootcamp page.
We could make it under my private boot campus, gratitude fitness boot campus page. Yep. And everyone that way. So what I do is if everyone who has a recipe or anything, they'll put it on there. That's great, and I'll have a look at it. It's probably a lot easier to look at it than it is on the phone. Yeah.
Some people are probably not quite as au fait as others with Facebook, so for me, I'll just be taking a picture
That's
of
fine.
my fish and chips and texting it through. I'm just joking.
Yeah. So yeah, it could be texting, or if you want to do the Facebook group page, and you can just put up little ideas if you want to do it. I'm more than happy for you to do that as well.
Okay. So can you send a link to that?
I will send a link.
I'll send you everyone's details. Yeah.
I'll send it.
Okay. So Vicky will send a link to that, or you can text her. Whatever suits. Cool. So I'll let Bryce finish up, and then we'll be all done.
Cool. Well, that is so exciting. Who's excited? I'm excited. I'm really excited. 'Cause I know yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. This is going to be so cool.
Perfect.
And do you know what the cool thing about bootcamp is? Is because everyone's in the same basket. Everyone's going to be motivating each other as we do it and encouraging each other. That's what happened last time, which is really cool. So we're all going to be helping each other achieve our goals. Great session by Ali on goals. I think it's really important. And you know, one of the key things I work on when I'm setting goals is it's all about the small increments. You know, there's no point in setting a goal and trying to climb Mount Everest in one day. There's a lot of steps to be able to do that. It's what do you put in your backpack to achieve that goal of climbing Mount Everest that counts. So there's little increments that build up to the big picture, to the big goal. Couple of things about bootcamp, just to wrap up. We've got some different locations. We're going to mix it up a bit this year. Last year we had various locations. This year we've got a few to chuck in the mix. I think we're doing an urban...
No. It's a secret. It's a secret, Bryce.
Yeah, secret.
You find out on Thursday. I'll tell you guys
You
on
find
Thursday.
out on Thursday,
Where
yeah.
you're
But we're going to have
going.
different locations. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. We've got some really cool equipment. We've got logs. We've got big Unimog tyres. We've got water buckets and all sorts of stuff. So it's going to make it fun. You'll get out of it what you put into it. That's the key thing. I definitely need to get back into the exercise regime, so I'm really looking forward to it. I did the trial fitness thing, the trial boot camp, and man, I was struggling. I was coming last in most of the events. It's like, oh man, but that's all good. But listen, the thing I want to finish on is a great quote by Napoleon Hill. It's one of my favourites. Some of you have probably heard this before. But the person of decision can never be stopped. The person of indecision never gets started. So you guys are obviously people of decision because you're here today. So I hope you get the most out of boot camp, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. Have a great evening.
Thank you.